Hello, my friends at ANU. I hope everyone is doing well and also staying safe. So obviously it is a pretty challenging time right now for us, especially for you guys who are about to enter the job market. But of course, I believe for every challenge, it comes with unique opportunities. So for today's sharing, I hope to share with you a little bit more about my experience and perspectives and hope to get you more well equipped and prepared for your career coming ahead. Quick introduction about myself. My name is Gary. So I graduated in the year of SARS, which was 2003, and I always thought that would be one of the most challenging times. And obviously with the COVID-19 situation, I think, things might even get a little bit harder right now. But at that time, again, I also struggled looking for jobs, and I basically started from corporate. So I was working with different Fortune 500 companies. I started with a food company called Nestle, and then I moved on to pharmaceutical, worked with GSK, then moved to FMCG, going with Unilever, and then I joined Apple, going to tech, and also joined LVMH, the luxury firm. And after that, I decided to join my university to work for my MBA program as a marketing and admissions head. So basically, my whole career was about marketing. That was also the function that I was passionate about. And right now, I have started my own business as a full-time trainer. So basically, I share different topics like anything from presentation skills, leadership, interview skills, career planning. So I would say it has been a pretty interesting career, and I did learn a lot from going around different industries. And so basically, I know that there are some questions in your mind, and hopefully based on my experience, I would try to share some of my perspectives to, again, help you think differently about the current situation. So the first question you might have is, under the current COVID-19 situation, well, obviously things are a little bit slower right now, so we have the time. How can I better prepare myself for my career? Well, obviously there are a few things that we could be working on. First of all, try to polish our soft skills. We do understand in our career, okay, we have hard skills, soft skills, but soft skills is usually the more important factor that determines whether you could become a leader or whether someday you could become someone influential in a firm. So your question might be, so where do I begin with? So basically anything you could expect from presentation skills, influencing skills, confrontation management, negotiation, okay? Go online, just search for these kind of topics, online courses. I believe there are more resources available there than what you might have expected, and definitely take advantage of the time. And again, try to equip yourself with these skills, which you could also put on your CV to tell your future employer, during this point of time, I'm working on my CV and I have been equipping myself to be prepared for this job right ahead of me. The second thing is industry knowledge. So I'm not sure at this point of time, do you have a clear mind in terms of what kind of industry you want to join? But when I think back, okay, when I was at your age, I thought about a lot of industries. I thought it would be fun. I thought it would be interesting. Well, honestly, these were only the things that I was thinking in my head. So now, with all the resources online, there's so many things that we could research on. So for example, right now, if you really want to become a management consultant, okay, you want to become a research analyst, whatever that is, I would say the most easily available resource right now is just go to YouTube or any kind of different channels. Search for that topic, look around in different articles and videos just to learn more about those industry knowledge. Because, okay, when the market gets better, when you happen to start interviews, it's not just about your interview skills, but also how much you know about the industry that shows the employer that I'm ready, dedicated, and committed for this job. So definitely take this time and then also study a little bit more. So when you happen to go to the interview, you would be much more well prepared. The final thing is your social presence, which you know that pretty much everything is going online right now, and I expect the same would happen after this situation. So my first question is, how well prepared are you now in terms of your LinkedIn profile? Okay, is it just a few names, or do you have more descriptions, more achievements readily available? I see a lot of students spend a lot of time preparing for their CV, but they have not put enough time to polish their LinkedIn profile. Okay, things are going online. More and more employers would be looking at your profile through LinkedIn. So definitely spend your time to kind of perfect it, make it better. If you're not really sure what is the best way to kind of put in your LinkedIn profile, very simple. Just go and research for other profiles which you feel like they had a very successful career. Read through their profile, how they kind of put in their company names, roles, achievements. As long as you have 5 to 6 benchmarks, you should have a pretty clear picture in terms of what a good profile looks like. So the other question people might have is, under the current COVID-19 situation, like when things improve, how do I see like which market or which industry would really boom or take advantage of the situation? Well, I think it's pretty obvious to all of us which business related to technology, online would be booming, because you know, for people to establish a new habit, it only takes 21 days. Right now, I'm sure all our habits have changed already because we have stayed at home maybe already more than 21 days. So what I see is, even after the situation is finished, okay, these kind of online behaviors would still persist. So when I look into different industries, I'll be thinking about, okay, how big of an online presence do they have? Okay, do they have anything related to e-commerce? I wouldn't say this is a must, because your principle should be based on which industry that really excites you and also something that you have passion in. But again, if everything equal, definitely businesses with more online presence, more of an e-commerce setting, would take quite a lot of advantage coming ahead, as I see. The other trend is about premiumization and customization. So this is despite the COVID-19 situation, but this is the trend that is happening anyway. So look at some of the booming markets right now, right? In Asia, all around the world. Actually, a big part of that booming economy is coming from premiumization and customization. A very simple example is just look at Apple and look at iPhones. How have they transformed in terms of their looks, their prices, and also their functions? So I don't know if you feel the same, right? When I was younger, I got an iPhone. I feel like this is something very special for me because it feels premium and it is something that only I have. So right now, do you care that much about the differences in terms of the function of an iPhone because it's pretty powerful already? What we really care about is the looks, and is this something that could represent me? So I think with that very simple example from Apple, we could already know that for customers right now, okay, because obviously the economic situation has improved, people are looking for differentiation, so they're looking for products which are more premium and something that could serve their own needs. So that is the same question you could apply to yourself for this future employer that I'm looking into, for their products, for their services. Can you feel the trend of premiumization? And can you feel the trend of customization? Finally, I would also like to share some tips in terms of career planning, okay, which, yeah, understandably, this is a tough situation, but things will move on, okay, we will pass by this. And afterwards, what you still want to think about is my long-term career planning. So one thing I always urge students to think about is begin with the end in mind. What I mean by that is we shouldn't just be thinking about, okay, what should be my next step? Should I go to this company or that company? Actually, where we want to begin with is in 10 to 15 years. If you can become anyone, okay, working in any corporate, I could be a finance director, I could be a CEO, what would really aspire you? Start from there. Again, I'm not sure if we're gonna get there, but we want to start from this aspirational goal. Once we have that goal, and then try to link it back. If I would have 10 to 15 years in my career to bring me to that spot, what kind of companies do I need to join? What kind of roles, what kind of achievements do I need to have to become that person in 10 to 15 years. So hopefully that would be a very important guidance for us to think about our next step, is because if in 10 to 15 years, we could be very focused, thinking about one point and building on that career track, that would be very focused and very efficient. One example is for me now as a full-time trainer and as an entrepreneur. It wasn't like all of a sudden one day I felt like I wanted to become an entrepreneur, then I quit my job the other day. I actually did a lot of career planning. So around 8 to 10 years ago, I was already thinking about starting my own business. So my question was, if 8 to 10 years later, I need to become this full-time trainer who was an entrepreneur, and if this person would have a bio of 400 words, what would be the ideal 400 words for this trainer to make sure that he is going to be a very popular trainer? So based on that, in between every career decision that I make, I was thinking, okay, if I go to that company, if I take up that role, if I go to that region to work, is it gonna help me in terms of my trainer profile or not helping me? So basically, because I had my end goal in mind, every decision became much more straightforward and much more easy for myself. One more concept I want to talk about in terms of career planning is what I call anchor fields. So for any kind of career, basically it consists of 3 anchor fields. The first one is industry, the second one is function, the third one is location. So basically every career choice is based on these 3 things. So right now, what I would urge you to think about is, based on these 3 things, which one for me I already feel pretty solid about. Okay, so I want to be working in the tech industry, the luxury industry, or I'm not sure. Function-wise, am I determined to become an accountant? Am I determined to be a marketing person or a finance person? And also location. Okay, am I determined to work in Asia, in Australia, in the US, Europe? Because everything actually, it's a combination. So it would change your way of thinking what would be the best career for yourself. For example, if now I have determined my location is going to be Hong Kong, function is going to be marketing, what I would want to think about is, in terms of industry, within Hong Kong in marketing, which industry would give me the best opportunity? Another example. Now I have decided my location is I want to be in Australia, and I also want to be in the tech industry. Then my question would be, based on in Australia, within the tech industry, what kind of function would give me the best chance to develop myself and also get to a higher rank within a firm? I think one thing that helped me pretty much is really look at other people's profile and their history. So for example, if it was that company, the CEO is someone that who I really admire. What I would do is try to look at their profile and then see what they have done in the past 10 to 20 years to get them there. So that would serve as a great reference for yourself to really plan about your career differently. So that's it from me. I hope you enjoyed this video and also learned something new. Those were some of the best lessons that I learned throughout my career, and really try to put some more thought on it, okay? It might give you different perspectives and think pretty differently about your career, because everything that I mentioned is something that I wish I knew when I was at your age. Definitely, this is not going to be an easy time, but I do believe the tougher the situation is, the tougher it actually trains us. So if we're able to get through this, you guys would just be stronger than anyone else out in the market. And again, really compete in a very favorable position. So good luck everyone, stay safe, and I wish you all the best in your career.